Let's get caught up with DanMachi. This is Belle, a naive yet determined adventurer who, in the dungeon city of Arario, strives to become stronger. Everything started when he was one day saved by Aiz, who within the city is looked up to as the Sword Princess, a famous adventurer from the incredibly powerful Loki Familia. Belle himself is the sole member of the weak and broke Hestia Familia, so to see a warrior like her left a very lasting impression on him, one so powerful that it actually becomes his entire motivation. So, with a newfound resolve to become as strong as her, Belle manifests a skill called Realis Freeze, which in essence makes him grow stronger faster. So long as he has a desire to catch up to Aiz, his level of growth will skyrocket accordingly. This in turn gets him more involved in the dungeon, leading him to come across the supporter Lily, a seemingly innocent prum at first until it's revealed she was actually just manipulating him. Things backfire and Lily ends up in trouble, resulting in Belle having to save her. So it's this act of compassion that makes Lily more fond of Belle, leading her to become his supporter for real. Fast forward through some training with Aiz and an epic fight with the Minotaur, and Belle would not only level up to level 2, but also impress all who witnessed it. It was a stunning victory that attracted the attention of many, one that also earned him the nickname Little Rookie. It's after that the blacksmith Welf would join his party too, leading him, Belle, and Lily on an expedition together. The three would then run into trouble with another party and be forced to delve deeper to a level none had ever been before. It was an arduous journey testing their limits as adventurers, a grueling struggle between life and death. Belle was able to carry both of them to safety though, bringing them to floor 18 where yet another challenge awaited. You see, because Hestia entered the dungeon and unleashed her divinity inside, the dungeon reacted by spawning a boss monster. Every adventurer would then have to team up to defeat it, leading to this climactic battle showcasing everyone. Of course, Belle was the one to provide the finishing blow, but that wouldn't have been possible without everyone else. So, with Belle having achieved yet another amazing accomplishment, his renown as this up-and-coming adventurer had spread even further. This brings us to the events of Season 2, where that very renown starts to cause Belle trouble. It seems the god Apollo has taken an interest in him, a lustful passion that means he'll do anything to obtain him. This leads to his subsequent challenge of a war game, which Hestia and Belle have no choice but to accept. So if Hestia loses, then Belle goes to the Apollo Familia, but if Hestia wins, then she gets everything from Apollo. At first, the Hestia Familia seemed outclassed and outnumbered, but after a few helpful additions in the form of Welf, Lily, Makoto, and Ryu, Belle's able to outsmart the enemy and defeat them, resulting in the turnover of all Apollo's assets to Hestia. This gave the now 5-person Familia a new home to live in, but unfortunately didn't fix Hestia's debt problem, making the Familia a lot less attractive to be in. Now, the next part of Season 2 moves on to a conflict with the Ishtar Familia, where yet another god tries to take Belle for themselves. This time it's not just out of indiscriminate passion or lust though, but is instead a plot to undermine Freya. You see, Ishtar found that she could use Belle against her and quickly took action to do so. In the meantime, a subplot was being built between Mikoto and her childhood friend Haruhime, leading to a dangerous scheme involving all three of them. Fortunately, Freya caught whiff before Ishtar could do anything, so she and her Familia absolutely annihilated her. Belle also got his moment against Ishtar's captain, saving Haruhime from being sacrificed. This was how she too became a member of the Hestia Familia, bringing the head count to 6 now. Fast forward through a small conflict with the Ares Familia, and that's when we get to the events of Season 3. A more emotional and morally complex storyline that introduces the intelligent sentient monsters known as the Xenos. It's here that Belle comes across the young Xenos Wine, and rather than hunt her down like how everyone expects him to, he instead chooses to protect her and go against everyone. This challenges society's beliefs that all monsters are evil, and as a result pits Belle against those he once looked up to. So it's while in the process of saving certain Xenos from captivity that Belle inadvertently makes enemies out of the Loki Familia. A good chunk is then spent in a game of cat and mouse between Belle, his allies, and the Loki Familia, eventually culminating in 2 very epic battles. The first was a conflicting duel between himself and Aiz, and that challenged everything Aiz herself stood for. It showed Belle wouldn't flop on his beliefs for anyone, while at the same time gave some well-deserved development to Aiz's stoicism. The next was an absolute beatdown by Asterius, who, after single-handedly destroying most of the Loki familia, faces off against Bel in front of everyone. He was the reincarnation of the Minotaur Bel fought in Season 1, and while his rematch did result in Bel's defeat, the heroic display of it recovered most of the public's opinion on him. So, despite this being Bel's first major loss, it's not like there wasn't anything to gain from it. Bel had done enough to achieve level 4, the people no longer thought of him as a traitor, and a newfound desire to grow now manifested within him. He was no longer solely occupied by a desire to reach eyes, but now has the new goal of creating a world where humans and Xenos can live together. That, and be strong enough to face Asterius in a rematch. So, this adds several new layers to Bel's character as he becomes quite a bit more mature than how he used to be. Something best reflected in Season 4 as his approach to what he believes in becomes a lot more serious. That being the case, it's here that we get back into the raw, unparalleled danger of the dungeon, all while learning more about Best Girl Ryu. Where before she only had a supporting role in a lot of the conflicts, her tragic backstory now comes to the forefront. So it's while Bel and his party are on an expedition to the lower floors that they're suddenly caught up in the middle of Ryu's revenge plot. Her familia had been wiped out by the actions of another, and Ryu was just eliminating those that remained from it. One of them was actually trying to recreate the very events that wiped out Ryu's familia, spawning the calamity known as the Juggernaut, a fearsome monster that acts as the dungeon's defense mechanism. Should the dungeon ever receive damage it considers excessive, then the Juggernaut will spawn and eliminate the cause of it. So this is the monster Bel and Ryu initially face off against, leading to their literal downfall to the dungeon's deep floors. It's an area only the most veteran adventurers would ever step foot in, since the monsters within are all incredibly powerful. Combine this with the Juggernaut still trying to hunt them, and what you get is yet another grueling struggle for survival. It's pretty much like the first one from Season 1, except that was Minecraft and this is Bloodborne. So, Ryu understood that survival with both of them was unlikely, and as a result tried to separate and sacrifice herself. It was a way of thinking that conflicted directly with Bel's, since he was fully determined to make it out together. It was this unyielding determination that eventually resonated with Ryu, since to go against the odds and uphold his ideals no matter what, well, that was genuinely inspiring. It completely shattered Ryu's pre-existing beliefs of ideal versus reality, since Bel was able to make his ideal become reality. This brought back memories of the idealism Ryu once shared with her captain, and showed her for the first time ideals can in fact shape reality. So Bel's triumph at the end wasn't just a physical victory over the dungeon, but was also a confirmation of everything Ryu's late captain stood for. It was a reflection of the beliefs Elise died holding onto. So, in the end, Bel held on to his ideals through great adversity, Ryu got to see what it truly meant to be a hero, and the others of the Hestia Familia grew through overcoming several challenges of their own. The season then ends with everyone being rescued, Bel just about halfway through level 4, and Ryu now having a renewed sense of justice. She also finally falls into the I Like Bel camp. This will come into play during the events of Season 5, since Seer's forward movements will go to challenge everyone else in that camp. It seems her and Freya will be becoming the main focus in the next arc, something I'm genuinely excited to see happen, since for far too long Freya's been on the sidelines. So, that's a brief recap of every season of DanMachi, hopefully catching you up to speed with what happened in it. If it did and you liked the video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I'll be making more DanMachi videos throughout the season, that and several ReZero ones. Until then though, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time, ciao!